Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Zahra Salsabila. In this video, I will tell you a story about Ashabul Kahf. In the old days, lived a king called Dicyanus. He was cruel and arbitrary in the lead of his people. This super authoritarian king curtly imposes rules that the people cannot violate. Anyone who opposes the wishes of the king just wants to end his life a liar. One of the rules that people cannot accept is the coercion of the will to worship God. One of the rules that people cannot accept is the coercion of the will to worship God rather than the will of the king. All the people are obliged to worship the king, and no one is allowed to worship other than the king of the Jews. Because of fear, most of the people in the land were subject to the cruel rules of the king. But even so, there are a group of youths who refuse to obey the king's wishes. They hide themselves, stealthily retaining the desire to worship and admit that there is only one God worthy of worship and is sought for help. He is the Almighty God of the real and His eternal destiny, where we seek help in love and sorrow. The beliefs of these seven youths are then known by the eyes of the king, who likes to lick and look for the fish before the king. Only the king is angry with the angry. The king then asks his helpers to immediately drag the lad forward to the king. Arriving at king, the seven young men were offered various tantalizing things such as high position, power of authority, and the prettiest woman in the country, where the seven young men want to take away their faith and only worship the king of cinema. They are not yoked with the faith of broken crackers. There are also people who love patience, or those who love for women. The king's offer was rejected firmly, and they preferred Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as God all his life. The answer to the youth are increasingly making the king angry and losing control. He threatened to punish the youth if he did not want to change his belief in a few days. Youths are not afraid of the truth and have been determined to defend their faith until the blood drops. For them, it is better to die holding the faith than to follow the king's invitation to associate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The seven youths make it. The search started. There was a group of royal craigs who finally found a cave in the middle of the forest. But since this cave is considered very haughty, they are afraid to enter it. In order to please the king, this royal official report if they have traveled all over the country and have closed a cave with the aim of when these young men are in death, they will die of starvation and will never get out. That is the boundary of human logic that feels power and feels the most powerful compared to others. But we all understand that there is a power that cannot be conquered by human thinking. He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who will not let people make damage and suffering to the servants of his beloved servants. Time goes by. The age has changed from generation to generation. Now the kingdom, which was once led by the cruel king and idolatrous, has transformed into a developed and independent state in exercising their religious beliefs. Meanwhile, the young men who slept in the cave were awake because the stomach was hungry. They asked each other how long they slept in the cave. One of his best friends said if they might fall asleep for half an hour. Another said that if he slept an hour. They did not understand exactly how long they fell asleep in the cave. Then one of them was asked to go to the food seeking market. Step by step, their hearts down the road while paying close attention to the surroundings. He was still afraid not to have the eyes of the king caught. Upon this noble youth in the market, he met one of the sellers who idled the food. But the seller was amazed by the money he was using. He looked at the young man and thought a very smart market watchdog. The market watchdog then brought this young man forward to the king of Saleh. How surprised the king was when the young man told who he was. The king hugged the youth with so many tears. The king of the Saleh then explained to the young man that the tyrannical king of the Dianus was dead 3009 years ago. Immediately, the atmosphere of the place became very quiet and moved by the incredible presence of the youth. Without being asked by the king, and invite everyone who was present to pick up the friends of the young men who were still in the cave to be taken to the place. Before many people, this young man said that we always believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never submit to anyone who invites the path of error and humility. Although the king has requested many times to keep this young man stay in the castle, but the youth refused and still chose to return to the cave again. Sometimes later, God took their souls and returned to him forever.